Jai Hind everyone. So basically today we are going to conduct our lecturate part, and it is one of the confirmatory tasks of after your GD. This is the final thing which is going to decide whether you are going to be a part or not. So in this lecturate you will get in total 3 minutes, wherein first 30 seconds you have to talk about the introduction. आप सिर्फ introduce करेंगे topic को. Next 2 minutes that is the body part, जिसमें आप topic का facts and figures पे emphasize करेंगे. Last 30 seconds is your conclusion part, जिसमें आप अपने opinions express करेंगे on the chosen topic. Now you will choose a flashcard from here. आप अपना topmost flashcard pick करोगे, wherein 4 topics will be given. The first topic is related to international issues and bilateral issues. The second and the third topic is more about social events. The last topic is more about yourself. So try avoiding that last topic. Got it? Now after 2 minutes 30 seconds there will be a bell. That means you have to wind up your thoughts within those 30 seconds only, and on the final ringing of the bell, that is at 3 minutes, you will stop your lecturate part. Now try to speak for minimum 2 minutes 30 seconds. Do not panic. Stand in stand at ease position. Be very fluent while you are speaking. Command your pronunciation and your language, because this is the point where you yourself will be speaking your thoughts, and ultimately your command over the language, what you are speaking and how you are speaking, all that matters a lot. Is that clear all? The first person.
Good morning everyone. I am Prashun Pandey and my lecture topic is Indo-Afghan relations. As we all know that Afghanistan is one of the most important neighbor of our country. As we also have some historical relations in the Mauryan era when it was the part of the India, until it was not attacked or isolated by the Arabs. After that in 1950, when the Afghanistan got independence from the British rule, a treaty peace was signed between the India and the Afghanistan, in which they agreed to cooperate with each other in every phases like social, political, cultural as well as the strategic relationships. After that, when the Soviet Russia attacked the Afghanistan once or twice the Taliban came into the power, and after that in 1999 our relation between the India and Afghanistan were getting spoiled due to the Kandahar hijack. After that the US military take over the Afghanistan and made its military bases. And in 2003 India made a preferential trade agreement in order to make a democratic government there, and also supported it. After that, when a democratic government was appropriately set up there, the Indian government also made in 2013 a reconstruction agreement with Afghanistan, according to which it made the parliament, road, pipelines as well as the Salma Dam there, and also a healthcare center there, in order to maintain the demography as well as the political and the social situation there.
Good morning, gentlemen. My today's lecture topic is Sri Lanka crisis. As we know that for India, Sri Lanka is a strategically important country. Sri Lanka crisis led by the today's government, then government Rajapaksa Gotabaya. The overnight shift of the country to the organic farming led to the food crisis, and also the Sri Lanka went into the China's trap. Due to this is created declining in its economy. Sri Lanka went to the IMF in 2007 due to to come over the civil war. In 2007 he gets $2.7 billion from IMF. And the next time Sri Lanka went to the IMF in 2016, he get $1.6 billion. Then he, adding to this, COVID-19 pandemic in 2020 added to this, which decline in his exports such as tea, rubber, and his garments. The main foreign exchange of the Sri Lanka come from the tourism sector. Even in the Easter blast in 2019, which reduces the tourism sector, which also created a major impact on its economy. For India to be a strategically important country, we need to focus on the Sri Lanka, and India has given $4 billion to Sri Lanka as we know that China is trapping India by the string of pearls, where Sri Lanka is a major part of it, where China has a port, Harbantota port, which he used as a military to surveillance our nuclear atomic field.
A friend in a need is a friend indeed. Hello friends, my lecture topic is Indo-Russian relationship. So before the freedom, India and Russia has established their relationship because Subhash Chandra Bose had gone there for the establishment of the Azad Hind Fauj. And after the freedom, we had established our relationship boost. And because Russia has also supported for India in many programs, such as in the second half of our 5-year planning, Russia supported India to establish India's most prestigious instrument such as IITs, NITs and many others, and also our energy program also. So first of all, Russia has become India's most cooperative friends in nowadays, and in 1971 no one can forget that moment when Russia fought against whole the world because of India. Because India and Russia has organized a treaty 1971 Indo-Russian relationship, and after that Russia also supported India to admit the SCOs and many other relationship. And finally, when India was committed agreement with China, Russia was also allying with that. But now when India and China were enemy, then also Russia supported India, and when Russia and India gone there with them, China was also supported, because Russia always support India to SCOs and also in permanent seat of India in Security Council. And nowadays India also supported, because of Russia-Ukraine war, India getting more and more money from such as their oil and other many, and Russia also supported India with the help of S-400. And nowadays there are some deflection in Indo-Russian relationship because of their products are not good and delay in the export. But we will that one day they will come when India and Russia will also a good friend in the world, and also our diplomatic relation will be also better, because America's policy is always very with the friends, because since one time when Pakistan was the most allying candidate of the America, but nowadays India take this place. So we should learn from the history and should make a cooperative and coalition.
Jai Hind everyone. My name is Ayush Kumar Maurya and I am here to give you a lecturate on a topic, problems with Indian education system. So there are lots of problems if we talk about Indian education system. The students are not at the level of the student in the 10th class are in compared to the student in 5th class is kind of equivalent. And if we talk about in the basic thing, for example reading, then even it is found that the students of 9th and 10th are not able to read a simple sentence of English. So there is a very big flaw in our education system which we need to identify. It is seen in Bihar that there are lots of teachers which are underqualified, and if we talk about the quality of schools, then it is also not that much good. The activities like sports are discouraged in our schools, and all the students are told to read and learn all these things which are get taught in school. So what are the solutions of this? Then our government must firstly have to change the syllabus of Indian education system, because the things which we are taught in 2000 is currently still going on. First we must need to change our syllabus and also makes it more practical than before. And another reason is the practicality of the practical use of our education. If we talk about engineering student, then they are taught all the theoretical knowledge and give their assignment to them, but the another problems came here that they didn't get any kind of practical knowledge, and when they go in search of jobs they didn't get it. As a result, more than 85% of engineers are unemployed in our country. And if we talk about the teachers too, then they are not that much enthusiastic as they should be. So we first have to make them more qualified and make the criteria of selecting teachers more tough for them, so they will able to teach student clearly. And if we talk about the Delhi government, then they are performed well in this field. If we say, then they send their teachers to foreign to get and develop some skills about teaching, and they also change the school environment. So we must have to learn from the government and take lessons from other countries like Netherlands and Finland, that how we should change our education system. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. Today I am going to share my opinion about climate change and global warming. As we all know, with time, as we are progressing from becoming a developed country, we are making a lot many industries, and due to those industries we are having a lot many carbon dioxide emissions, which is leading to global warming. And due to global warming, we are having climate changes that is affecting our own health as well as society. We are having such kids who are not healthy, and that is why we have to do something to prevent it. As we all know that we are seeing those floods that should not come at that time of the year in many places, and also so much of drought which should not be there.
Good morning friends. Today my topic is India-USA relations. India is a country present in Asian subcontinent, and America is present between Pacific Ocean. Talking about America, it is a current superpower and India is the upcoming superpower. Since our independence in 1947, our relations have first improved, then it started degrading, and then after improved. After 1947, when we are facing hunger crisis in India, America supported us in every way it can. They transported grains to us. Also, they supported us in 1965 Indo-China war. But after that, in 1971, when Nixon came into administration in America, he became the president of America, then our relations start degrading, because he hated India and he supported Pakistan. Also in 1984, when we conducted a nuclear test, we failed for sure. But after that, America put various sanctions on us, and this was a hard time for our Indian economy. But when Bill Clinton became the president of America, since then our relations have started improving. Also by the time of Donald Trump, Joe Biden, Barack Obama, our relations are improving year by year. Now talking about the trade relations between India and America. America is the biggest trading partner for India, and India is the fourth biggest trading partner for America. The trading commodities between India and America are IT services, MNCs like Google, Facebook. They are trying to settle up their warehouses in India so that they can produce their goods in India at cheaper rate, and further they want to found a substituent for China. Also now talking about the military services, America is having the biggest military in the world. India is having the third largest and fourth strongest military in the world. Many military exercises like Yudh Abhyas, Yudh Milan are taken place between India and America. Now coming to my opinion, since last many years, India and America relations have improved for sure. But for becoming a developed nation and for becoming a superpower, India still needs to make a good relations with America, because America, I think America is the only country which can help us to be developed. America can help us to be developed in every way, like in military, like in our economy, our GDP, etc. So I think that government should more focus on building bilateral relations between India and USA. Thank you.
Good morning everyone. My name is Aditi Yadav and my lecture topic is Women Empowerment. Women empowerment is concerned with giving equal rights to women in regarding their development and contribution to society. In Indian history, we have a very prominent leader like Savitribai Phule, who was a very ideal for women empowerment. That at that time in 1850s era, she had been teaching girl students and empowering women. And in current scenario, we are also facing with many problems like violence against women, female infanticides, and dowry system. But to counter that, Indian government has also started many initiatives for women empowerment as is Beti Bachao Andolan, Poshan Abhiyan, Mahilaye Haath, and so on.
No one is permanent enemy and no one is permanent friend. Only interest decides the relationship. Good morning. Today we are gonna to talk about India and US relationship, which are totally based on interested. Before 1990s, we do not have good relationship with the US because India was confined in its territory for trade. So we don't have, because there was no trade with the US. So it was not a good friend of India. But after 1990s, when LPG was implemented in India and US relationship got started to better. But after 1990, it again get fainted in 1998 because of nuclear testing by India. But they were improved by, and sections were imposed by, which removed by nuclear agreement 123, which then again India US relationships start to get better, but and they are getting better and better day by days. But the common interest of India and US relationship is there. Both have democratic government, and we are against China we are stopping China to become superpower. Hence we have a common objective, so that we are friends, and we have many common agreements of military information with US, like GS Monia, which we have to share exchange our military information. After that, Marcosa and Beka and other agreements.
Good morning everyone. Myself Subhi Singh, and today's my lecture topic is the conflict between the Armenia and the Azerbaijan. As we know that when the Second World War ended in 1945, then the Cold War started between the USSR and the USA. And this Cold War started till the 1991, when the USSR divided into the 15 countries. And out of these 15 countries, there are two countries named as the Armenia and the Azerbaijan. And the main apple of discord between the Armenia and the Azerbaijan is the land of area known as the Nagorno-Karabakh. And this land of area is most important by the military's interest. And we know that the Armenia and the Azerbaijan both have wanted to acquire this land of area, and also Armenia has the military rule on this land of area, and they both have wanted to make this part of their own countries. And this whole scenario is just like as the Jammu and Kashmir, which is also a conflict between the India and the Pakistan, because it has their own strategical points and interest also. So they both wanted to control at that land of area. And the Nagorno-Karabakh wanted to conduct an election on this area, and this also provoked the Azerbaijan to fought against the Armenia. And now the Armenia and the Azerbaijan started their fight to each other, against each other, and this becomes not a bilateral, but it's become a multilateral war between all those, because the global is divided between the two parts, as the USA, the UN and the India also help the Armenia, and the Israel and the Turkey and the OPEC countries are supportive to the Azerbaijan in this topic. So we can say that this is now become a multilateral war between the Armenia and the Azerbaijan, and they both wanted to acquire that land of area, because the Caucasus mountain existed in the Nagorno-Karabakh area, which has their own military interests. And so we can say that any problem we can solve with the diplomatic issues. So we can say that the military is not the end of any war, and we can't solve any problem with the military. We have to solve the problem by the diplomatic rules and the democratic rules also.
Jai Hind everyone. Today's my lecture topic is terrorism. Terrorism means to create fear and terror. It involves those kind of activities which are influenced and motivated by religious, political and ideological purposes. The term terrorism had gained popularity since the attack on World Trade Center in September 2001, that is 9/11 attack. Depending on how broadly the term is defined, the roots and practices of the terrorism had been traced since at least 1st century AD. The terrorist group thrives on receiving funding from different organizations and to see the chaos in the society to fulfill their eternal motive. To tackle with terrorism, we have to boost our defense system, as we already did many operations like Kargil war and surgical strike like Uri. And we also put spy on different countries which are connected to our borders and also in Indo-Pacific Ocean. Thank you.
Hello gentlemen, my name is Akash Kumar and my today's lecture topic is Indo-Pak relations. India's independence on 15 August 1947, and after that India is divided into two parts, India and the Pakistan. Pakistan will be the majority of the Muslims and India will be the majority of the Hindus. Partition also resulted in the armed forces and also in the civil services like railways, police, etc. And after that in the roads there are 22 lakh to 5 lakhs pupils were killed and thousands and millions of pupils were displaced during the migration. It is the largest displaced migration in the history. After that, on 20 October 1947, Pakistan Armed Forces along with the Kashmir pupils attacked on the Srinagar, and after that the king of that time, Raja Hari Singh, will help for the India's Prime Minister Jawaharlal Nehru, and on the basis of that, the asset is that the Kashmir will be the part of the India's after some time. And after the many issues we saw the result on the war 1965, and after it 1917 war, and it is the major war between the India and the Pakistan, and result is that the Bangladesh will make another country, and all after that the Pakistan will give many attacks like the Pulwama attack, Pathankot attack, and the 26 11 attack, and the 26/11 attack, and the India always tries to make a better relations with the Pakistan, but Pakistan never tries to make a better relations. To make a better relations, India's makes and many helps like the Samjhauta Express and the Thar Express between the India and the Pakistan, and after the some time the Pakistan terrorism and along with the Pakistan armed force attacked on the Samjhauta Express. And the most important things, what is the major issues behind this main dispute? It is the some border disputes like in the Sikrik and the Siachen, and the most important is the Kashmir issues. Generally we see then in a normal day that many terrorists come into the attack in India, and India's facing a lot of crimes in the Kashmir due to the help by the terrorist group like the Lashkar Mohammed and Lashkar-e-Taiba. And India should be a better relations with the Pakistan. In my personal view, India needs to not improve the relations with the Pakistan, because the Pakistan only give a war and the many terrorism attacked. And if the India's make focus on the slogans like तुम दूध मांगोगे तो खीर देंगे, कश्मीर मांगोगे तो चीर देंगे.
So now we are over with the lecturate part. Your thoughts should be progressive rather than criticizing. You do not need to suppress any thoughts. Now, chess number 200. Do not use words like hate. Instead, you could have said, he chose Pakistan over India. Yeah, instead of India, he chose Pakistan. Do not avoid these negative words. Sorry. Do not use these negative words, right? Now, chess number 30. In the beginning, you were hesitant, though you have good speaking skills, but you could not cover the topic. Lack of content, I guess. So try to maintain that proper content, and then only you can speak up to the level. Chess number 36. Be more confident while you are speaking, because you have command over topic and language, but your thoughts could not be in a proper hierarchy. Chess number 61. Good start, good speaking skills, but you need to put more facts and figures in your body part. उसमें facts and figures बनाने पड़ेंगे. Rather than beating around the bush, you need to stick to that, what you are saying. Chess number 52. Instead of introducing yourself, try to start with the code, because you have good command over language and you have good speaking tone. Progressive thought. Your thoughts were also progressive. Chess number 142. You need to be high with your tone. You were very low, and you were not being able to convert your thoughts into proper words. Lack of coverage of time, lack of content. You need to work on this. Chess number 192. Good speaking skills, good command over topic, but do not show your aggressive side. Be very calm while you are speaking. I hope you all have got whatsoever was lacking in them, that will be improved in you. Right, everyone? Thank you.